Hey guys, what's going on? It's Qwad here, and today I will be showing you what the new game mode tactical will look like when it comes to Infinite Warfare. If you have no idea what tactical is, don't worry, it is a new game mode that will be coming to Infinite Warfare that was just recently confirmed by Charlie Intel to be coming to the game. So right now the only information that we have about Tactical is what Charlie Intel gave us, which is basically that it will be a game mode that has only wall running and no jetpack use, which you can see me setting up for the private match right now. So the primary concern that everyone had with this game mode was that it would make some of the maps unplayable, which really isn't the concern for almost all of the maps. The first map that I'm going to cover for this video is Breakout. Breakout is one of the first maps that comes to mind when you think about maps that will be a problem for the tactical game mode, but it really isn't a problem. Even though it's pretty obvious that this map was specifically designed for execute use, there really isn't any route around the map which you could take with a jetpack that you would be unable to take without a jetpack. There are some spots that you can only get up to in a specific way that otherwise you would be able to just get up to with a jetpack, but there really aren't any spots that you could get up to with a jetpack that you aren't able to get up to without a jetpack. This game mode will definitely change how players play specific maps, but that's not necessarily a bad thing anyways. With the great popularity that Modern Warfare Remastered has received, this seems like a step in the right direction towards pleasing the majority of their fanbase. The second map that I'm covering for this video is Mayday, and just like Breakout, this map is another one that comes to mind when you think of maps that will be a problem for the tactical game mode. Mayday also requires wall running to maneuver around certain parts of the map, but isn't really dependent on jetpacking at all. There's really only one spot on Mayday that you can't really get to, and that's the wall over to the left that you can see on the screen here, but that's really the only spot on the map that you can't reach without jetpacking. Moving on, with the next map we have Skydock, and Skydock is another map that has a rather essential part to the map taken away without jetpacking, but other than this one part, the map remains essentially the same. The part that I'm referring to is the little room in the middle of the map, which is a really big part of the map, but it's only unable to be reached by one part. As you can see here, I'm reaching it from the right side, but here I'm unable to reach it from the back side, and you also are unable to complete the wall run just below that jump. But aside from those two jumps, the map remains virtually unchanged other than having to create a couple jumps to replace the jetpack jump that you would usually need to use to be able to get to certain spots. Frost is another map that will have some slight variations for the tactical game mode. For example, you aren't able to complete the wall run that you can see at the bottom of the screen here, which usually takes you all the way across the map, but now since you don't have jetpacking, you are unable to stay on the wall the entire time. However, there aren't any spots that you can't reach, as you would think this ship in the middle could be unreachable, but it is actually reachable from every side, as you can see in these clips here. The only problems that this map encounters without jetpacking is certain routes, such as the wall run I showed you at the beginning, and this wall run here, you can see that I am able to make it from this side, but if you try it from the reversed angle, you aren't able to complete the wall run. The next map that I'm going to be covering is Scorch. Scorch really seems like a map that wouldn't be affected by a lack of jetpack use, and it really is just that. As you can see with some of these spots, you have to be able to make a first jump to be able to go without using a jetpack, but otherwise it's relatively unchanged. One trick that you can see me using throughout this video is having a slight wall run into a jump rather than doing a slight jetpack jump, which is very useful for those jumps that you barely can't reach without using a jetpack. Moving on, the next map that we have for this video is Crusher. Crusher is similar to Scorch in the sense that it seems like a map that doesn't require any jetpack use, and it really is just that. That theme is going to continue for a large part of the remainder of this video. And that's because when making this video, I chose to put the maps that seem to have the most potential problems at the beginning of the video, and leave the maps that seem to be fine without jetpack use towards the end. The next map is Retaliation. There's only 3 spots on Retaliation that seem to pose a potential problem for this game mode, but as you can see with these 3 clips coming up, none of them really pose a problem whatsoever. If anything, the jump in the final wall run shown can be pretty difficult, but once you try it a couple times, it's pretty easy to get the hang of. Up next we have Precinct. Precinct is a map with a lot of long wall runs and high ledges which could pose a potential problem for the tactical game mode. But as you can see in these clips, it isn't a big enough problem to make any of the spots unreachable or any of the walls unrunnable. There's really only a couple spots that you even need a wall run to be able to get up to a ledge. Otherwise it's pretty simple and plays just about the same as it does without a jetpack. Maps like Precinct seem like they will be affected by the tactical game mode the least, mainly because they only have 1 or 2 levels at all points on the map, and there aren't any major balconies or overhangs where using a jetpack would be able to change the game a lot. Up next we have the map Throwback. Throwback is much like Precinct in the sense that it only has 1 or 2 levels at pretty much every single part of the map, and none of the ledges are so high that they are unable to be reached without using a jetpack. Here I would like to note that I've been using the perk Momentum for all of the clips in this video. The perk Momentum allows you to be able to pick up speed as you continue to run, which might allow you to reach certain spots that you wouldn't be able to reach without it in the tactical game mode. It really felt like a minor point, which is why I'm mentioning it this late in the video, but if you have any trouble reaching any of these spots, you might want to make sure that you have the perk Momentum enabled. Up next we have Infinite Warfare's remake of the Modern Warfare 2 map Terminal. Terminal is really an interesting map when it comes to the tactical game mode, since it was originally designed for a boots on the ground Call of Duty. They did make quite a few changes to Terminal for Infinite Warfare, such as lack of ladders, and they added additional walls to be ran on for the game. But other than that, and a couple jumps you can see me make in the clips that I showed, it's going to be essentially the same, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays for the tactical game mode. Up next we have Grounded. There's really only 2 routes on Grounded that I thought you might not be able to reach in the tactical game mode, but in these clips here you can see me reaching them pretty easily. For the next map we have Frontier, and Frontier is a really interesting one. Frontier is relatively flat, but on each side of the map there's a pretty big drop off. But as you can see in the clips, all you need to do is run on 2 different walls, jump up them, and then you can easily make it up the drop off. The last map that I will be discussing in this video is Genesis, and this is because Genesis is 1 level throughout the entire map. There's only 1 wall run that you can't really do that well without a jetpack, and that's the one I'm showing here, and I was only able to complete the wall run by using the rewind payload. That's going to be it for the video. If you enjoyed the video and would like to see more videos in the future from me, make sure that you like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you would like to see me make more videos like this, or have any other videos that you want to see me make in the future, please let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, this has been Qwad, and I'll see you guys later.